Somebody say, we made our first digital metaphysical product. It's a metaphysical product, and find out how it's meant to influence our ecosystem as a company. It's called Dink Tech Change for Games. Find out, stay till the end to find out how it will influence our brand and the collective of the world, of all human beings in the world, in essence. So welcome to the news. Thanks for coming. In essence, we today are announcing our first metaphysical product. Yesterday, we talked about making a metaphysical marketplace and making a global brand, aka that is a contribution that we're starting to try to have influence the global brand. That is Dink Tech Change for Games. And so having that be part of the process, Dink Tech Change for Games has our first metaphysical product today to be able to contribute to this ecosystem of planet Earth, of the globe in essence, because especially there's a lot of evolution happening in terms of where things are moving in the future. So how we're trying to be a part of things is by fundamentally participating in what is our first metaphysical product, which today is announced as cash, our cash money, our own cash money, our own little kind of play money, fantasy money, if you will, because it's kind of like a monopoly game process. It's also like Disney money, like for the amusement park. Dink Tech Change for Games Studios is in essence like a movie studio in essence, so we want it to be like transforming the whole world into an amusement park in essence. So that is how we're going to try to bring life and form life into our first metaphysical product, which is not exactly a full-on physical product. It's not a digital product. It's not a phygital product either. It's a metaphysical product in essence. So what that corresponds to is the essence of spiritual finance being embodied in a physical sense. There's something called cryptocurrency, which is like digital money in essence, but the physical money of Dink Tech Change for Games cash in essence is the metaphysical product that is able to correspond and be able to redirect and direct energy into the functionality that corresponds to metaphysical spiritual finance. Spiritual finance is what this podcast has always been about in essence, but we have the ability to now try to add value in a physical sense to the physical world in real life, like in real life streaming in real life, in other words. And we're going to try to use the same fashion of the words that I just used to be able to also develop online content, to either be able to stream live content and do interviews with people and try to play games with people outside on the street, where we're actually going to try to engage with them in terms of developing trade and trading goods and services to a certain extent, or trading actions, for example, for our currency, for our digital physical currency. We're going to try to make deals and deal structures by using our metaphysical product to break through the essences and the essence of spiritual finance to get to the other side of developing deal flow in essence by corresponding to different estimates that are free, asking people, talking to people outside on the street, getting estimates from them. What would it take for them to take action? What would it take for them to make a deal? What would it take for them in terms of time and energy? What is the time that they foresee that would take them to do this, including energy? That equation also includes energy. But what is also the money that it would take? What are the resources that it would take? So we're going to make deals and deal structures, and both sides of these things are two things that don't necessarily exist. We're trying to draw from both sides of the universe, which correspond to pre-sales and pre-seed sales, in essence, based upon things that do not exist necessarily, because we're just asking estimates. We're asking questions. We're asking for them to draw from the metaphysical aspects of their mind to be able to correspond to what it would take to be able to make a deal, in essence. And that deal corresponds to developing a fictitious and a realistic estimate of what it would take to be able to cross the line, to be able to take an action, to be able to follow through with a certain task or a certain goal per se. And the cash money, the Dink Tech cash money, the Dink Tech Change for Games cash money, that is a metaphysical product in essence that we're introducing in this podcast, that corresponds to the essence of how we're going to make the appearance of this metaphysical product in our podcast, in our vlog, in future vlogs where we're interviewing people and talking to people on the street in essence, and also corresponding to how we're intending to hopefully try to continue to make music as we're continuing to try to add music into the background of these podcasts in essence. But in essence, we also kind of want to make like in the spirit of Disney, for example, like a Fantasia type of a process for developing music in essence, like in the outside world, to a certain extent, but then at the same time we might contrive certain situations to develop like an orchestra, so that in essence it's like an EDM orchestra. That is the type of music that we're trying to combine necessarily, and then like combining Fantasia with depictions of interesting graphics in the background, and at the same time we're developing like either live electronic dance music, for example, but we also have a corresponding correlation to different aspects of an orchestra, so that each person in the orchestra or different aspects of different triggers occur, so that different aspects of the orchestra are triggering different different sources for sound to come together like an orchestra. And Dink Tech and Change for Games is meant to be the conductor of this EDM orchestra, more or less. And so as we continue to try to develop little deals like this, deal structure, we still want to be able to try to develop music and also have like a Frank Sinatra vibe. We want like a Frank Sinatra vibe to be able to make hand motions and gestures, to be able to be like a conductor, to be able to conduct different electronic dance music to come out from the crowd. So it's like Frank Sinatra is kind of like the conductor type of a character that Dink Tech is trying to embody to a certain degree. And Dink Tech Change for Games Studios is trying to be like sort of like embodying that mascot of Dink Tech, the flying, black lab dog with bat wings, to be able to be the conductor, to be able to be bringing out electronic dance music from the ground, in essence, from different expressions of the shaking of the wand, the shaking of the hand, to be able to redirect different energies, to be able to develop different music, to develop different publicity, to develop future elements for attention, to be able to try to gravitate into the Dink Tech Change for Games Studios brand, in essence, in the short and the long term. Yeah. But going back to the cash money, our first digital product, our first physical digital product, our first metaphysical product that we're trying to develop deal structures and deal flows from the back end of this and from the front end of this, because it's kind of like gifts and it's things that we can use for barter, or it's something that we can use for barter, where in essence that's the purpose of it. And it was inspired by like a music festival, viewing a music festival encounter where in essence people are inspired to develop new ways for interaction, and this is the inspiration for finding the foundational ability to try to draw up our own cash, which is also an art. It's also some form of art, and it's like cash is art, like currency for different places is art in essence, and that's what our currency is meant to be as well. It's meant to be art. It's meant to be a symbol for art as well, and it's meant to be a symbol for in real life tokenization to a certain extent, where we have different functionalities that are tried to be tied in and accredited to the essence of the purpose of this cash as a metaphysical product, because that's why it isn't trying to have economic value necessarily, but the metaphysical value hopefully is a significantly more valuable energy spawning tool, more so than any items that I necessarily have encountered in the past. And this hopefully embodies and empowers us to grow as a company and as a brand, to develop a transition into monetary energy, to be able to transition the monetary energy into philanthropy energy, and then transition that element into real life good deeds, into real life philanthropy, into real life attempting to benefit the whole globe in a cumulative sense. And at the same time, we're also trying to stream a consciousness that corresponds to emails each day, that correspond to applications, mobile applications being made each day. And we want to continue to report on different conceptual applications that can add value to different parts of the world to cause just root networks to exist for different abilities for energy to flow in through those conceivable applications, to be able to have people potentially rally in different parts of the world through the essence of a mobile phone, to be able to send their energies through an essence of a mobile phone, to conceptualize how to address different problems in different countries in the world that are significant and could be rallied upon by different people from all over the world, to be able to add value to these different problems on a consistent, ongoing basis. And that's one of the foundations of the metaphysical cash product in addition. But going back to the music making process, we're trying to get into the depths of making art like Fantasia, and also developing that Fantasia-like experience in real life, like on the streets, and streaming that combination, but with like live shopping, with like selling our collectibles, by like having our collectibles being sold, which is kind of like the money, the fake money in essence. We're selling the fake money, but selling it live. So it's not in the direct live shopping context in essence, because we're trying to live stream a live transaction with different people, just like by making different random deals and making different functionalities of different currencies that we're able to make up on the spot. And we can change the nature of each currency through each different dynamic deal, and change the paradigm and the purpose for each different currency that we're developing with paper. So it's in real life. It's not cryptocurrency, so people can touch it and it's tangible, even though it's artwork after all, and it's meant to be changing artwork and like evolving artwork and kind of like street artwork, if you will, because that's the nature of the purpose of the metaphysical product, is to be able to try to connect and transmit a human energy through that piece of paper and that process, and like a ceremony, through developing a documentation process for vlogging, an attempt to develop transactions through these means of developing an online recording of these interactions with people, and also developing interactions with like a soccer ball, for example, so we can walk up to people and play a game with them, just like we did a couple months ago to try to continue to introduce interactions with the soccer ball, so we can try to make games and gamify the process of interactions to hopefully ease into the process of being able to play with and such with some different folks, to be able to try to ease into the mindset to try to develop a new and unique systematization for developing an opening in how to connect with strangers, in essence, like understanding that first of all everybody in the world is already networked, to try to, and then to therefore try to open our network by not needing to have an introduction interaction, not needing to get through to someone, not needing to have to find a way to contrive a situation to get someone's attention, or to be to try to have somebody look upon us highly or favorably upon us, because ultimately there's already an understanding that we have a foundational fundamental connection at the core, and it's an attempt to tap into that for any given person that we ever try to network with at any given part of the world at any given time, in future reference for our future media content for Dink Tech Change for Games, in terms of conceptual deal structure with our metaphysical cash product, and trying to present them with a gift of cash of our Dink Tech cash, of our Dink Tech dollars, in essence Dink Tech Change for Game Studios dollars, as we try to transition the world into an amusement park, in essence. And this is our Disney dollars. These are our Disney dollars. These are our Dinky Tech dollars, in essence. So these are our Dinky Tech Disney dollars, our Dinky Tech dollars, which is the form of Disney dollars, in essence. But our theme park, our amusement park, Change for Game Studios, is meant to span the whole world. It's meant to be the whole world. It's meant to be, in essence, a symbol for what the metaverse is, in essence, in real life, because we're able to change the nature of life for the nature of games, and change the nature of life into the nature of changing the world into games, in essence, because we have that conscious choice in real life, as well as in the metaverse, as well as in augmented reality, as well as in virtual reality. We have that choice, that same choice in real life, IRL. That is the first foundational layer which we hope to try to address in terms of this outdoor marketing strategy of developing this cash money flow, which is in essence our first metaphysical product, which corresponds hopefully to some other aspects of affiliate real products and or other real-time data, real-time media development, real-time streaming development that corresponds to ultimately developing greater furthering energies, which corresponds to Dink Tech Change for Games, to separate ourselves from other companies, that when artificial intelligence is asked, which company do you want to go with, that in essence Dink Tech Change for Games is able to arise from the pack of other companies for one reason or another, based upon brand, based upon a brand score that is being analyzed by artificial intelligence, in essence, that hopefully we're able to uphold a high enough mentality and sort of reputation, if you will, in the eyes of the artificial intelligence, so that they choose us when there's a different brand confusion, and it's a necessity for the AIs to choose over a myriad of various choices, that they're able to choose us, because hopefully our regard can be seen highly in terms of brand awareness, in terms of brand viability and scalability and ability to stand out in terms of reputability, in terms of like positive energy, so to speak, in terms of how to stand out, in terms of how to differentiate and things of this nature. So we want to make fun and interesting dollar bills, such as like a $1 billion bill, and like make interesting characteristics that correspond to different fictitious, metaphysical, spiritual, finance identifications on each given dollar bill that corresponds to the cash money that we're trying to make as the Dink Tech dollars. So it's the metaphysical, spiritual, finance form of Disney dollars, and the metaphysical, spiritual, finance form of the brand Disney, known as Dink Tech Change for Games, known as Dink Tech Change for Games Studios. That's all for now. Hopefully we'll see you at the orchestra. Thanks again. Sometime soon. Okay, thanks again. Bye, Dink Tech. Bye, peace, bye. Dink Tech Change for Games. Bye, peace, bye.